logging into PROCAS Time and Expense, the user's current timesheet will be displayed. Expense reports are accessed by clicking the Expenses menu. The PROCAS expense system automatically updates the published per diem rates for lodging, meals, and incidental expenses on a daily basis. I will demonstrate by creating a new expense report to record my expenses for a business trip. The expense reports can also be used to record any type of expenses such as cell phone reimbursement, office supplies, training classes, and home office expenses. I'm going to begin by giving my expense report a name. I'm also going to record that I received a $100 advance for my trip. From my blank expense report, we can begin adding some expenses. Let's start by adding some mileage. The system supports the reimbursement for business use of personally owned airplanes, automobiles, and motorcycles. When I select the expense type and click Search, I'm going to see a list of charge codes that I have been authorized to charge my mileage to. I'm going to select the appropriate charge code and type in the mileage date. I can enter in the total miles, or I could enter in the start and end odometer readings, and the system will automatically calculate the mileage for me. Now I'm going to enter in a description. And now to record my return trip, I'm going to select the charge code, type in the mileage date, and the total miles, and a description. When I'm finished, I can save this and go back to my expense report. I'm now going to add my airfare expense. I'm going to record the vendor name and select a payment type. The system supports payment by company credit card, company debit card, company paid other, or employee paid. In this case, I use the company credit card. Now I'm going to type in the date of the receipt and the credit card that I used. When I click the Save button, I can add the details of my expense. When I click on the Type drop-down list, I'll get a list of expense types that I've been authorized to charge to. I'm going to select the appropriate expense and click Search. What will appear are a list of charge codes that I've been authorized to charge airfare to. Now I can select the appropriate charge code. For airfare, I can simply type in the total amount, including tax, into one box. It's only necessary to separate out the pre-tax from the tax amount when recording lodging in the U.S. and U.S. territories, since those per diem rates are quoted at the pre-tax amounts on the published schedules. Now I'll type in a description of my expense. When I'm done, I can click Save and go back to my expense report. For the system to automatically calculate my lodging, meals, and incidental per diem allowances while I'm away, I need to record where I was and when I was there. So now I'm going to add my itinerary. First, I will add my home city. To locate the city, I can type in a city, state, or country in the lookup field. The system will look for that city within the continental U.S., Alaska, Hawaii, and U.S. territories, or within foreign countries. When I click Search, I'll get a list of the cities. I'm going to select the appropriate city, and I'm going to tell the system that Columbia is my home city, so it knows not to calculate the per diem when I'm home. And now I'm going to search for my destination. I can search for a city by typing in a partial city name. Now I'm going to select the destination and add this location. I could add multiple locations if that was appropriate. Now that I have my locations, I can add my itinerary. I left Columbia on August 4th at noon and arrived in Santa Fe the same day at 6 p.m. Then I returned from Santa Fe August 7th at 7 a.m. and got back to Columbia same day at 3 p.m. When I'm finished filling in my itinerary, I can click Save and go back to my expense report. You'll notice that the itinerary now appears at the top of the expense report, and when I click the View Per Diem link, I can view the per diem allowances for the time that I'm away. The system calculated that I'm entitled to $71 for meals and incidentals expenses on the 2 days that I'm gone for a full day. The system also applied the partial day rules. If you're gone between 0 and 12 hours, you're not entitled to any meals and incidentals for that day. And if you're gone between 12 and 24 hours, you're entitled to 75% of the meals and incidentals. So the system automatically calculated that 75% of the meals and incidentals allowance on those 2 partial days that I'm away. I can also tell the system that I had some meals provided for me while I was away. So I can select the meals and click Save, and the system has recalculated the meals and incidentals allowance for that day. When I'm finished with that, I can click Save to go back to my expense report. Now I'm going to add the meals and incidentals per diem expenses to my report by clicking the link up here. I'm going to select the charge code, click Add, and now when I view my expense report, I've added the meals and incidentals to the report. So I've recorded total expenses of $773.45, less the $100 advance I received, less the amount paid by company credit card, for a total amount due to me of $128.50. When I'm finished filling out my expense report, I will submit it for approval, and it goes through a similar submit, approval, and export process as the timekeeping system. The journal entries will be made automatically to record the expenses and to record the appropriate liabilities to the credit card company and to the employee. This concludes the demo of the expense reporting system.